High Pointe Church was founded in 2000 by Kevin and Nancy Sullivan, along with a gifted and committed team passionate about seeing people come to faith in Jesus. They first started by meeting in the Sullivans' living room and soon after moved to a community room in the Sullivans' neighborhood where they continued to grow. Shortly after that, they held their grand opening service on April 23, 2000 at Hunt Elementary School. Less than a year later, High Pointe Church moved to Emerald Ridge High School to make room for further growth. In 2007, the church started a 3-year land campaign to purchase property in Graham, Washington.
God has just been blessing us tremendously. Some wonderful things have happened in the life of our church as we have reached out. And that's what we talked about when we were here in this living room. We talked about starting a new church where we would reach out to people who didn't have a church, maybe who had given up on God. And we have seen God do some amazing things. He has changed people's lives. We've seen people go from not knowing God, maybe even hostile to God, to coming into relationship with Him through Jesus Christ. We've seen marriages reconciled. We have seen children who were growing up in a godless home now going to bed at night with a mother and a father praying over them and waking up to a home that now has a godly influence. It's a wonderful vision that God has given us, but we really only just scratched the surface. We're just beginning.
Members of High Pointe gathered at their property, and a prayer event took place to ask for the blessing of a building. In 2017, a 3-year building campaign started with the goal of funding Phase 1 of the master plan. Due to the generosity of donors, HPC was able to build Phase 2 of the master plan first, the construction of a larger building that allowed a sanctuary space for church services and Kids Zone classrooms. Members that gave to the land campaign in 2007 through 2010 and the building campaign in 2017 through 2020 were planting seeds that they hoped and prayed would grow people spiritually and numerically. By God's grace, He has done both. God has grown us spiritually and numerically.
The moment we stepped into High Pointe, it felt like home. It was something we had never experienced before walking into a church. It instantly felt welcoming and like family.
Ever since being at High Pointe, our faith has grown so much.
Yeah, from sharing our faith to being willing to pray with anyone we come across, it has just grown our impact in our community.
I remember in 2001, we were new to the area and we saw a flyer in the mail for Easter at High Pointe. We had plans for Easter, but that next week we tried it out based off the flyer that we got.
Joining High Pointe and then eventually joining small groups had such a huge impact on me spiritually. It gave me a desire to know God more and then to lead my family.
We just find it's important to invest financially and time-wise and emotion into your church. This isn't just a church that we go to. This is our church. This is our church family. By investing financially, our heart has been in that and invested as well. And we just feel we're part of it. We're part of what's happening here.
My family and I started attending High Pointe in 2000. I remember as an 8-year-old walking into High Pointe and just feeling the immense love and appreciation for me as a person and who I was, and people wanting to get to know me as an 8-year-old. It was really impactful. My life now has been shaped by High Pointe in many ways, particularly being a wife and a mom. I feel like I've really been taught how to do those as a Christ-loving woman and how to love my husband as Christ loved the church and to love my son as Christ has loved me. And I wouldn't be the mom and the wife I am without High Pointe.
As you heard in these testimonials, High Pointe has made a huge impact in people's lives. Thanks to God's grace and the sacrifice of current and past church members that paid it forward, we were able to buy land and construct our first building. And now, as our church has grown, we want to grow our impact further. Imagine what we could do with more room for spiritual seekers to hear of God's love, to equip families and disciple followers of Jesus and support those who are struggling. For those of you that are members, and call High Point home, I'm asking you to enthusiastically support High Point's Growing to Impact building campaign. God has given us a big vision, and that vision requires a big commitment from our entire church family. I'm asking you to make the single largest commitment that you've ever made to any church or charitable organization over the next 3 years. Our challenge goal is $2.6 million, and our miracle goal is $3.5. It's a big goal, and we have a big God. We can do this together. This commitment is financial, no mistake about that, but it's also spiritual. It is a unique opportunity for us all to grow in our trust in God. It will require all of us to prioritize our relationship with Jesus. For Jesus tells us in John 15:5, I am the vine and you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. We will accomplish nothing without Jesus. When we step out and financially sacrifice, we stand and grow spiritually in leaps and bounds. And growing to impact is a matter of the heart when you really get down to it. So please seek to give from your heart. Paul tells us as much in 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 6 through 8. He says, remember this, whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and whoever sows generously will also reap generously. Each of you should give what you have decided in your heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. God is able to bless you abundantly so that in all things, at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. Together, let's sow abundantly in the good work of growing to impact.